Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. The crypto market continues to move in a bullish way. Is this the top or are we going to explode? All I ask is that you give me a beautiful smile, smash that like button. I noticed something very interesting, which I'm going to share with you, that on the one hand could freak you out a little bit, but on the other hand could mean that you're in for a massive rally. I'll explain everything. Also, it's Chinese New Year. So if any of you celebrate Chinese New Year, it's the year of the dragon, right? So happy New Year if you celebrate that. I don't think I have any viewers from China. Maybe you're watching on a VPN. So happy New Year, and let's get into it. So Bitcoin was able to rally during the night, and now we're seeing Bitcoin sit at 46,558, up 2.8% on the day here. We are seeing how, and people will say, well, lines and resistance, it's all, it's all mumbo jumbo. Here you go, a beautiful example on how resistance levels are just beautifully tested and rejected, and resistance becomes resistance and support becomes support, and how you can make a lot of money on this. So just take a look here. I have this line, this resistance line from before, right? I track this when the price of Bitcoin was going up, and it was a level that got rejected one time, right? That was the high, the local high, right? It was back here. And so I used that and I created a line to test when we got back to that level, right? The new local high, to see what would happen, right? And so now it became a resistance and support level, okay? So what happens is many people put their buy orders and sell orders on this level, just like me, right? And so people or algos are programmed to those levels. So look what happened here. There was a run up here where Bitcoin went from 54,000 all the way up to that 4588, right? And so we saw a rejection. So it got rejected on this area. It pulled back a little bit. Second time, there was much more volume. So you can see first time there was little volume. Second time there was more volume. And it was able to break out of that resistance. But what happened about an hour later, we saw it act as support. So there was a sell-off here, right? Sell-off, and it acted as support, and it bounced off of that. Just this easy tool can make you a lot of money. Now, does it happen every single time? No, but if you are able to know that things are happening, you have the potential to make money. If you're interested, our partners Bybit and Crypto.com give you that opportunity. Check it out in the description down below for Bybit. If you're outside of the US, you can use lever trading, copy trading, day trading. Please trade responsibly, by the way, and Crypto.com as well if you're inside the US. And if you're interested in trading stocks, our partner Mumu gives you that opportunity as well. Check out the links in the description down below. It will be interesting to see, like yesterday, a lot of the movement happened Asia time. What do I mean by that? It happened during the night in the US and during the morning, afternoon in Asia. Yesterday, what happened is there was a little bit of a pump, and then we saw a pullback during the trading day after it hit the 44,000 level. You can see most of the day here yesterday was consolidation, and then we saw towards the end of the day a little bit of a run up to 45,000, but then there was a pullback, right? And during the night, right, this is already 3 a.m., 4 a.m. my time, is late evening in the US or nighttime in the US, and most of the movement happened here during the night Asia time, right? So it'd be interesting to see today. Yesterday, we didn't see any massive movement once the US market started waking up. There could be some shorts that get squeezed here. If we take a look, right, there could be some short squeezing because we are getting very close to this candle here, these two candles here, and closing this gap, right? So there could be a lot of shorts that shorted on this way down that are still in the profit of the short position. Now, some of them could have closed here on these 3 daily candles, but some of them might be continuing to try to push the price of Bitcoin down from this level. There will be a battle once we get to this next support level at 47,956, because this was the high, the next high, right? And then I'm going to actually chart this out now because we're getting close to that, right? We're going to chart out the next high, right? And then we can take this as a consideration of what could potentially happen here, right? So that will be the next high. And we'll look at that and see what happens. There's going to be a massive battle, in my opinion, between the shorts and the longs here. And you're going to see a lot of people after another 3% night this morning that are, oh yeah, baby, the bull market is back, right? And a lot of, noise. I still think that we could see a movement like this. We could test this level again and then pull back somewhere back into this level. I don't know if it's to 40,000 or it could be back to 45,000 if we get over 49,000 into 50,000. But just the stochastic full is pulled up so high. And in my experience, right, the stochastic full does not give us a 100% track record. But in my experience, it always pulls back. Right, so even if it is pumping big time, in the end it pulls back a little bit. So just be ready for that. Now, Bitcoin tops 46,000. Analyst predicts more gains before halving. So I took a look at this, right, and I know this video is a little bit Bitcoin centric. We're not really. We can take a look at Shiba Inu here and see, it's up another 2% to 0.50938, right? Up 1.78, 1.85. But Bitcoin is going to come into a lot of focus, right, in the next few days. And we could see the underlying top 20, Solana, Doge, XRP, Ethereum, and the rest move, but not move. Cardano here, 1.5%, but not move a lot, right? Matic, 1.5%. I am seeing some, smaller INJ up 8%, but for the most part, the top 20 is not really moving as much. I think we're going to see a Bitcoin dominance spike. So we could get Bitcoin dominance to 53, 54, 55, right? And then we'll see the altcoin market come with it, right? And so I think we're going to see a squeeze potential here on Bitcoin, and then the altcoin market would join the celebration. But what did I notice here? I looked back in time and I noticed that prior to every single Bitcoin halving, which is coming upon us very, very soon, right? The price of Bitcoin was about 50% less than the all-time high. So if we go back to 2020, right, the price of Bitcoin at the halving was 10,000 when the previous all-time high was 20,000. Right, the previous all-time high was 20,000. We go back to 2017, the price was at around 680, 700, somewhere around that, where the all-time high prior to that was around 1,200, right? So also a 50%, around 50% less, right, at the halving. And if we go back even more to 2012, it's a little bit, the numbers here aren't, it's kind of hard to see, but you get the gist here. I think 2012, it wasn't like that. So let's say just the previous two halvings. I'm not sure what the high was here because the graph is kind of weird, right? I'm not sure, right? It actually, the low was at 2. Yeah, it's just, very much the beginning, but still. So now this time, let's talk about this time. The crypto market was very young here, right? So we can take that as it's not part of the trend. Two last times when the crypto market was much more accepted, this happened. Okay, this time, right? Bitcoin is a lot closer, right, to all-time high than it was the previous two times. So if we zoom out, right, and we look at the high, there's only about a 38% difference, right? And Bitcoin only needs, in previous cycles, it needed 100%, right? Now it only needs 47%, right? 22,000. So it's a lot closer 50% closer than it was in previous cycles. Now, there could be two reasons for this. One reason could be, right, that the prediction in the prior cycle was for Bitcoin to hit about 150, somewhere around that, and it topped off at 60,000, 68,000, right? People were projecting this according to the movement that happened in the previous halving, right? And instead of going from 600 and it went to 20,000, so that was a over 20x movement. So people were predicting that we'd see also a 20x movement plus minus in the 2020 halving, and it didn't. We only saw a 6x. So it could be that now we're seeing the difference be closed, right? But it could also be because of the hype behind the Bitcoin ETF. Even though we have all this GBTC selling, Bitcoin is still able to be a lot higher. And again, we're not there. There's 2 months left, right? So it could get higher. It could dip lower, right? It could dip down back to 30,000 prior to halving. And then, it will be in the trend. But currently it's not in the trend, right? Of course, at the peak here before the halving, Bitcoin was at 12,000. But that even then, it wasn't as close as it is now. So we're a lot closer to all-time highs. And historically, we haven't seen all-time highs for Bitcoin prior to halving, right? And so this is going to be very interesting, right? It's going to be very interesting to see how Bitcoin reacts in the next few months going into the halving. Will there be enough hype, right, in order to push it for the first time to all-time high prior to halving? Will these Bitcoin ETFs be the catalyst that sends the price to all-time high prior? I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of battling there, and it will be interesting to see. Now, this also will be interesting, right? You have a situation where Bitcoin hit 49,000 and it sold off 20%, and all the naysayers and the haters were already, sharpening their knives and saying, oh, it's a total failure, right? Everybody said it's going to the moon, right? And it didn't happen. Well, now we're almost back to the same price we were, days. We passed where it was days before the Bitcoin ETF approval, but we're almost at the price that it hit at the peak after the release, right? This is going to be the first go around for many new investors in the crypto market that experience this kind of 20% drop and then to 20% comeback, right? It's not 20% comeback, it's more, because when you lose 20%, you need to go up 26%, 27% to get back to that same level. So this is going to be the first go around for these new investors, and it will be interesting to see how they are going to react. Will they double down? Will they feel the FOMO, right? And so that will be interesting to see what will happen here, how much shorts are going to get squeezed, the whole battle here between the shorts and the longs. This will be very interesting. This is the first time that we're seeing this kind of action since the Bitcoin ETFs have been added to the stock market, which, touched 5,000 last night for a brief moment. But it created a new all-time high as well to 5,000. So it will be a very interesting day. Friday is sometimes a very big day for the crypto market. So hopefully we get good news here. But again, I still think we're in the moose market. So, we're excited, but not too much, right? We can put a smile on our face, but not, dancing in the nightclub until 6 in the morning. No, we're going to be happy. Think positive today, and we'll see what happens. But again, I'm recording this kind of early because it's Friday. I recorded a little bit earlier because the kids come home. It's half a day here, and I'll release it in about 2 hours. So in 2 hours, a lot can change. So it will be interesting to see here where the crypto market goes from here. Don't forget to smash the like button and check out the links in the description down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.